Hurry to find this place or we'll be late.
Make a left on Astrology Avenue. Oh, I'm sorry, I meant right. It should be right here at 444 Spirit Way. Oh, turn!
It looks like Renee. Yay, we're on time. The James and Kellee Show.
Great, let's start the show.
Hi, everybody. Hi, I am spiritual medium Kellee White, and welcome to Both Sides Now and Beyond. It looks funny tonight because James isn't here with me tonight. So I'll probably repeat this several times, but James isn't feeling well tonight. He is staying in bed. He wanted me to send love to everybody tonight. And I think, honestly, the eclipse, got to him because he just was really wiped out. And so he really needed to stay in bed. And so I hope you don't mind. I'll be the host tonight, and I've got lots of information to talk about with these eclipses, the one we had just a few hours ago. And tonight, Feel Better James, exactly. Let me say hi to everybody. Hi, Bernadette. So Bernadette, you've been sick too and a lot of pain. Yeah, this month is, it's a challenge this month. And this period that we're in is a big, big challenge. Hi, Lori. I'm glad. I know I love working with James. And I am so sorry that he's not here tonight, everybody. He really just doesn't feel well and is just in bed right now. So say good prayers for him and send him lots of good energy because I know he would love that. Lori Stern Yoga, and you have a great question about the solar eclipse and Mercury retrograde. So I am going to answer that, Lori. Let me say hi to a few people. I'm going to talk a lot about the significance of eclipses and these two in particular, because these two are major. This is a major energy that we're in tonight. Major. Hi, Maureen Walton. Hi, MKD. Hi, Sarah Stone. Hi, Angel. Hi, Sue. Hi, Carolyn Varley from Ontario, Canada. Thanks for watching. Hi, Maureen. Hi, Laurel Davies. Hi, Lady Silver. Hi, Wanda. Hi, Renee. Oh, I'm so grateful that you guys are watching tonight. Hi, Brenda. Hi, Patricia. Hi, Toby. Yeah, there's a lot of information I'm going to give out to everybody. Hi, Michelle. Hi, Dee Dee. And hi, Marge from Western Australia. You know, speaking of Western Australia and speaking of Australia, we have, I'm actually going to be teaching a class with Janelle Campbell, the most wonderful medium in Australia. And we're teaching a class together, a live online event. Are you a starseed? So everybody's been asking us to teach this class, and Janelle and I have a particular love of starseed information, and Janelle's going to be doing an incredible meditation, and we're going to be talking. It's going to be an extraordinary event. It's May 10th in the United States at 4 p.m. in Pacific time, which is in Los Angeles. And it will be May 11th in Australia. You'll have to check. You have to go online, and you can find this on my website. You can find this on FaceTime or Facebook, and you can also find it on Eventbrite and Instagram. So it's all over there. So please join us because that's going to be a great event. And I'll talk more about this as we go on. But thanks, Renee, for putting that up. Hi, Brian. Hi, Vicki. Oh, I'm glad. Thanks, Vicki, for watching tonight. Hi, Sasha. It is going to be a great episode. And I am sorry that James is off tonight because he just didn't feel well, everybody. Again, I think this eclipsed him. I think it did. I think it did. So Jean Rankin says, this eclipse has already changed my stuck course for the better. When will we feel peaceful again? Probably not for about a month. That's terrible, but it's probably true. Hi, Lori LeClaire. Hi, Teresa. So hi, Patty Weeks, and hi, Angela. Well, everybody, I'm going to start talking about this energy right now because I'm sure that everybody has been feeling this energy. We had an eclipse, lunar eclipse, just a few hours ago. It was about, well, it started on the 24th if you were in Los Angeles or the Pacific Coast. Started around 10 o'clock in the evening, and then it went until this morning at about 1, 2, 3 in the morning, depending on where you were and wherever you are, you would have felt this energy of this eclipse. And this was a big one. This was a lunar eclipse. And I thought what I would do is I would talk about the this lunar eclipse that we just had. And then I'm going to go into, what exactly are eclipses and why they're so significant in our lives, because eclipses literally take us, if we're on a road here, eclipses will, and let's say we think we're going the right way, we're headed in this way, or let's say we think we're not really sure which direction we're going in, an eclipse will go like this, whoop, it'll move you so fast you'll be shocked at how all of a sudden life changes and things happen. And I'm not saying that at all to scare anybody. We have to remember we incarnated on Earth with a plan on the other side of what we were going to do. And as you know, Earth is a very challenging school, and we may be with the wrong people here. We may have the wrong career. We may, we're supposed to be doing something else because we had planned on the other side to do something else. So once we're here with eclipses are that important. They literally change our road. So let's talk about the eclipse from last night, because that was a big one. And it also has to do with Mercury headed into retrograde, and the degree that it was in too, because this is also making people feel very uncomfortable. So, and I thought this was fascinating. If anybody has heard of this, it's called eclipse anxiety. Has anybody heard of this, or eclipse sickness? And that's when individuals actually have reported symptoms like fatigue, hence James, who's not here tonight, balance issues. If anybody's had trouble with their balance, vivid dreams. I'd love to know if people have had some really bizarre dreams. A lot of my clients are reporting that back to me, and I've had some doozy dreams. And also, some people say that they get flu-like symptoms during and after an eclipse. So they call that eclipse anxiety, which I thought was kind of fascinating. But we had an eclipse of this lunar eclipse a few hours ago. And it was, now I do Vedic astrology, and the reason I do, it's where the planets actually are. So in Vedic astrology, this eclipse was in Virgo, and Virgo has issues around health and diet. All of a sudden you might be thinking, you know what, I think I am going to do, Ozempic or one of those, or I am going to work on my health or something like that, because Virgo has a lot to do with health, eating, has a lot to do with the work and the service that we do. And that might be a major theme for you during this time. Also, lunar eclipses, and you'll hear me say this a few times tonight, they increase emotional intensity. Okay, so it also deepens our feelings. Now, again, in Vedic astrology, this Virgo lunar eclipse is in the nakshatra, which is the celestial home of Hasta. And Hasta is said to highlight and awaken latent creative talents. So let's say we have this eclipse, and all of a sudden, the next few weeks, it could be the next week, it could be today, it could be in the next few days, you feel like, I don't know, writing music or doing art, or all of a sudden you discover you are a healer, and healing energy comes out from this. Again, eclipses put us on the path that we're supposed to be on. So because it's in this really special nakshatra of Hasta, it means to discover your inner gifts. Now, I could talk a lot about, the different, and I will talk about the different eclipses that have affected my life dramatically. So just know that when you get to discover your inner gifts, it's one of the greatest things that can happen to somebody, frankly. So also, during this particular eclipse, this lunar eclipse that we just had, we're going to see increased concerns around the world of injustices, a lot of powerful oppositions. This is going to be a very intense time, and as you can feel this energy. Okay, so also, again, this eclipse that we just had, it involves health, healing, illnesses, because Virgo also can bring illnesses, can bring healing, but it also can bring illnesses. And also, it's about letting go of old chapters. And when you let go of an old chapter, like whatever the old story that has been around, when you start to let go of that, and sometimes suddenly it happens with eclipses, and sometimes you kind of just realize it's time to let an old chapter go, then what happens is the new beginnings happen. So kind of think of this period of time as like it's like a washing machine almost. It kind of, tumble you around and pull you out of this. And also, what I do want to mention about this particular time is from March 24th, today is March 25th, and into tomorrow, Mercury, which is almost in retrograde. It's not in retrograde yet, but it's headed there. But it goes from, as of today, it moves from Pisces into Aries on that eclipse. Now, what's important about that is Mercury, which is the fastest moving planet and the planet of communications. It's how we talk and think. It rules our mind, frankly. It is in what we call Gandanta, and Gandanta is that 29 degrees going into 0 degrees. It means going from a water sign into a fire sign, or a fire sign into a water sign. And it's a very intense time when this happens. And it also means Gandanta itself means drowning. So you might feel like you're drowning in your emotions. It might have trouble with water. We might see some unbelievable water situations come out. So it's a very intense energy here. So again, if you're just tuning in now, I just want to mention that James isn't here tonight. I know you can see he's not here, but he's not here tonight because he is not feeling well. Okay? As he would probably say, he went Gandanta. He just doesn't feel well. I had to get that out. Okay. So why do eclipses occur in the beginning? First of all, what is an eclipse? So a lunar eclipse always occurs during a full moon. So you notice that moon last night was unbelievable. People were sending me pictures of it. It was unbelievable. So it always occurs during a full moon when the sun and earth and the moon align so that the moon passes into the earth's shadow. Okay, now that's a lunar eclipse that we had last night. Now we have a major solar eclipse on April 8th. And I'm going to be discussing that because that's, again, life-changing, really. It's a big one. So a solar eclipse always occurs during a new moon. So a new moon typically is when we start something new. It's a good time to set something new. Except that on this eclipse except this eclipse. This one's a big one. So a solar eclipse always happens on a new moon when the moon passes between the sun and the earth, and it casts a shadow on Earth that either fully or partially blocks the sun's light in some areas. Well, this eclipse on April 8th is going to go through the United States. And there are certain places that it will be completely dark. Texas is one of them. Indiana is another one. I mean, it goes through. I'll have a map. We'll have a map up in the next couple of weeks. We'll have a map so you guys can see it, or you can Google it. It's a big deal. And if you are there during the eclipse, if you are in the totality of it, I have to believe that life really changes a great deal when this happens for people. But eclipses, and here's what happens with eclipses. They create big feelings, like large feelings. So eclipses they supercharge the energies of the full moon or the new moon. They supercharge it. And during any full moon or any new moon, the alignment of the earth and the moon and the sun creates an extra gravitational pull. So think of the earth, if you will, as like this giant watery orb that's being pulled to the right and is being pulled to the left by the gravity of the sun and the moon. Well, eclipses amplify that effect, and they pull strongly on the waters of the earth and theoretically the waters in our bodies. And then water is the element of emotions. So it's really common for many of us to feel more deeply around this time. And I'm talking to all my empaths out there, and I know there's a bunch of you guys that are really, really feeling this time, because this is a very, again, these are large energies. Don't they say that in Texas? This is large. Well, these are large energies. And Texas, this is a big one coming for Texas, actually. So eclipses are a time of letting go. So again, the energy of a full moon, which is what we just had, is about completion. So it's clearing and it's letting go. But again, it can heighten your emotions, disturb your sleep, and bring intense dreams, frankly. Oh, Linda, you love my tulips? Thank you about that. I love them too. Okay, so powerful eclipses in 2024. Let's talk about this because 2024 is a big year. I mean, it's a very, it's an 8-year in numerology. 8 is ruled by Saturn. Saturn brings karmic lessons to all of us. Okay, so eclipses come in pairs. Okay, so we are in the first eclipse season right now. So we had the first one last night, a few hours ago, and we have the next one on April 8th. So the second pair, that's a pair, the second pair in 2024 in this year will be September 17th and October 2nd. I have to laugh because that's right at my birthday and then right at my daughter's birthday. So I'm sure this is going to be one year, one heck of a year. So again, eclipses in 2024, these are really rare ones, and I'm going to explain why, and they're really powerful. And they bring transformation and change, okay? So again, eclipses are considered to be powerful, transformative. They're astrological events that indicate significant shifts in a person's life. And it also indicates the end of a phase of life and then the beginning of a new one. And I just kind of want to give you a little example of one that happened to me. And I don't know if you guys even remember where you were, but in the year 2000, we had an eclipse on July 31st in the year 2000. And I didn't know anything about eclipses. I didn't have a clue. I didn't know anything about any of this, actually. But I did not know that my life was about to change. And so the eclipse was July 31st of 2000. And 10 days later, I had a traumatic brain injury. And my whole life changed. Hence, I'm doing this work now. So eclipses really can be life-changing. And again, for me, it was because I was on the wrong path. I mean, I was in the meat business. What was I thinking? I didn't even eat meat. But, and it literally was like, oh no, Kellee, we're going to make a change. We're going to put you over here now. And that's what happened. And so that was a big one. If you wonder what was your life like in the year 2000, that would be interesting to look at. But when the lunar eclipse comes first, which, again, just a few hours ago, we had the lunar eclipse, because sometimes the solar eclipse will come first. But when the lunar eclipse comes first, it's actually considered to be very complicated. And what happens is it heightens the emotions. My scarf is coming on. I talk with my hands and my scarf comes up. Okay, so sorry about that. Okay. So anyway, when a lunar eclipse comes first, it makes it more complicated. And the reason it does is it heightens everybody's emotions. So you can tell our emotions are already heightened. And between the next eclipse, again, April 8th. So we're already in an emotional mood. On top of that, when we get to this April 8th eclipse, shocker of shockers, we are also going to have Mercury again in Gandanta, but it will be in retrograde this time. So this time it's in the retrograde, it's headed to, but it's not there. But by the time we get to April 8th, that will be like a double unsettled energy. And also I should say that Mercury is also ruled by, or Virgo ruler is Mercury. So this eclipse in Virgo, its ruler is Mercury. It really makes things just very, very intense. And so when we talk about eclipses, we also talk about the nodes in astrology. Like, how important are these nodes? The South Node you've probably heard of, the North Node you've probably heard of. In Vedic astrology, we say Rahu and Ketu. And so eclipses occur when the sun and the moon are at one of these points. And Rahu is the head of the dragon, and that's responsible for causing, they say, the solar eclipse. And the nodes of these, they're destiny points. And the nodes are the points in the sky where the moon and the sun cross the paths. And that is what an eclipse is. So in astrology, the nodes actually denote the spiritual paths that we should move towards and let go of, as well as the energy that that's not good for us anymore. So eclipses put us back on the road that we're supposed to be on, that we had before we incarnated, what we decided we were going to work on in this lifetime. So the North Node, or Rahu, is fate and destiny in this lifetime. Okay, fate and destiny in this lifetime. K2, the South Node, are karmic lessons from past life karmic lessons. And this, again, we had a South Node K2 eclipse in Virgo just a few hours ago. So that's more of a karmic thing. And K2 is said to remember and liberate us from past karma. Okay, and it stirs up the unseen from this life, from past lives, really. And it also offers us a chance to cut free from the past and all of the entanglements, if you will, of like doubt and heartbreak. You know, it's and especially if you've been in a heartbreak situation, this is really a time for, you know, you'll feel it, of course, but you might also have some insight into that it's time to leave the party, or that it's not working for me anymore, or something along those lines. It's a very a powerful time for that. Thanks everybody for sending wishes to James. We really appreciate it. James, if you're just tuning in now, is not feeling well tonight, so he's not here tonight. So he's home resting. Okay. Oh, thank you, Renee Wendt. I appreciate you. Yes, Gail Hayden says so much tension and anxiety. Lori Letterby, you haven't felt great either, right? I know. Hi, Elizabeth Scott. Hi, everybody. Yeah. Oh, and let's talk about our animals. Thank you, Sherry Craft. A lot of animals are going to be acting really strange, like the eclipse last night. However, also the next 2 weeks, they might be next 3 weeks, probably feeling a little out of sorts. And, you know, animals pick up everything. They just know everything. They just know everything. So here's a good question. Is this collective when an eclipse happens, or is it individual karma? So is it a collective for us in the world, or is it individually karma? So eclipses affect us collectively. So there'll be a lot of collective change, especially when we get to that April 8th eclipse, especially in the United States. There'll be some great changes there because it goes right through the United States. But eclipses affect us collectively, but they also impact us individually. And also it depends on where the planets are in your natal chart. So for instance, this first eclipse is in Virgo, this one we just had, the lunar eclipse in Virgo. And in my chart, I am a Virgo. My birthday is September 20th, and I'm actually a Virgo. And again, I'm going by Vedic astrology. And also my Jupiter and my Mars are also in Virgo. So I hate to say bring it on, but I have a feeling I'm going to be very impacted by this. I just have this feeling. So if you know what your chart is, especially if you know your Vedic chart, and there are a lot of free things you can go online and get your Vedic chart, depending on if you have any planets in Virgo. But the next eclipse, which we're going to be talking about, is actually in Pisces. In Vedic astrology, it's in Pisces. And so if you have any planets in Pisces, that might also, you would be, probably feeling this a lot more too. So, okay, so let's go on with this. A lunar eclipse influences the mind. So the effect of this lunar eclipse that we just had really, really affects the mind. And it doesn't help that Mercury is on its way to retrograde and at a Gandanta point. It makes it like this would not be a time to sign an agreement. It would not be a time to decide to do something. It probably would be best if you can wait, frankly, if you can wait until after both eclipses or that energy. But if you can't, just not today or tomorrow, just give it a couple of days here because, again, these are some wacky energies. Laura Valteria, hi from Indiana. Laura, it's going to be going through Indiana, so that ought to be interesting too. Hi, Angie Heineman. I know you're in Texas. It's going to be going through Texas. Oh, hi, Carol Zuber, watching from Southern Ontario. You'll have to check, Carol. I don't know if it hits Ontario, but again, I don't know that part. It might. I don't know. But a solar eclipse brings a change of consciousness. So when I go back to that eclipse in 2000, and I talked about my head injury, for me, it was a complete shift in consciousness. So I found it fascinating that solar eclipses change the way we think. And even to carry it further, I think these eclipses, because it's in Virgo and Pisces, I really believe that we're going to see a much greater involvement in spirituality. People are going to either want to know, things are going to change. And also, this is an extraordinary time period if you are a healer or if you're going to do healing work. This year will open up a lot of doors for a lot of people because we're going to need a lot of help. And we also, in April, on April 20th, we have a conjunction with Uranus, which is a planet of shock and surprise, but new age technology and healing. And it's with Jupiter. And Jupiter is the largest planet, and it expands healing. So this is going to be quite a year. So I think that between these eclipses and that conjunction, the world is going to start to change in a way that we can't imagine right now. Kind of think like this. Probably shouldn't say this, but remember in like January of 2020, when our life was relatively different than it is now. I think that we could have some big changes coming up for this year. And I know James and I have talked about that a lot, but again, eclipses bring change. And they also show us areas, personally, they'll show us like, where are we having problems? Like, what is it that we need to change? And you guys will know, you'll start to feel it. Like, I know I should have been doing this. I know I should make a change. And then the change happens. So again, lunar eclipses affect us emotionally because it involves the moon. And these effects actually can be felt 2 weeks before the eclipse, which is what I've been talking about as we headed into eclipse season, right? But also it can happen a month after at least. So it all depends. And sometimes with a lunar eclipse, there is an instant impact. Like, I don't follow him, but I saw on the news today, Diddy, the rapper, it looks like he's in trouble. So this eclipse would have definitely hit him hard. So also because of a lunar eclipse, also again, you have to watch your temper, especially with people around you, like family, your spouse perhaps, or work colleagues, because nobody's going to be thinking in their right mind for the next couple of weeks. They're just not. But a sun eclipse makes you question the path that you are following. And really, on a practical level, it makes you go like this. Am I in the right job? What else should I be doing? Should I change my home? It also makes you look honestly at your health too. So this is a very powerful time. I keep saying that, but it just is. And just because eclipses shake us up, it's not to have any fear around them. They actually bring changes that ultimately bring us to a positive place. Okay, it's again, if I look at it, if we take the lens way back to on the other side before we incarnate, we plan, we're going to do this and we're going to do that, and this lifetime I'm going to do this, and I'm going to, okay, then we get here and we get, all kinds of stuff thrown at us. And sometimes we just spend our time trying to survive. And eclipses again remind us that we're a soul having a spirit, having a physical experience, and to move into why we incarnated. Okay, so again, they put us on the path that we are supposed to be on. So that again, they're not to be feared or not to be anything like that. It's almost, you can look at it like, wow, what exciting thing is going to happen. And I'll tell you something before I get into the total eclipse that we're going to have on October 8th. This may surprise a lot of people, but we've only had 3 since this year, well, the first eclipse, I should say, in 1918 was a total eclipse that was seen in the United States. Okay, that was in 1918. Okay, the one after that, all the way, was 2017. Okay, and I want to talk about that one. And now we have this one on April 8th in 2024. And there's not going to be another total eclipse in the United States for the next 20 years. So this is a big one, and it really sets the energy, I think, for the next 20 years. But the one in 2017, if you guys remember the one in 2017, it was, I think it was August 21st. And I remember it like it was yesterday because my life changed again so dramatically. Everything that my office changed, my dog passed away, I lost 4 family members, including my mother and my husband's boss, which was Neil Diamond, because my husband's a musician. I was with Neil for 100 years, forever. Neil retired due to Parkinson's, and their bags were packed and they were ready to go out the door to Australia, actually. And then we moved to the farm. So I know exactly where I was, how that eclipse happened in 2017. So I say this because if you look back at your life, like for instance, on August 21st, 2017, how did your life change in 6 months after that? So, because, they do, again, they bring all kinds of change here. So, Karen Sweeney says, I have my stones out charging. No, this is not a time for that. I wrote a lot about that, Karen, on my website or on my Facebook and Instagram. No, this is not a time for putting stones out or crystals out. No, it's just not, because the energy is, there's not any light for them. And it's just not good energy for that, or the solar eclipse. No, this is just not a time to put out crystals. And thank you for putting that out. And Margaret, we are starseeds here, I'm sure. Yeah, I would agree with that. And speaking of starseeds, I have an upcoming class with Janelle Campbell. And if anybody knows Janelle, she's an incredible medium in Australia. And the two of us have a love and passion for teaching about starseeds. And starseeds are these amazing souls that come to bring light to the planet. And if you're a starseed, or if you know one, take this class, because we're going to help bring meaning to it, and we're going to help people understand, why they might feel different and what their purpose is here. So, join us on May 10th in the United States at 4 p.m. Pacific time, and May 11th in Australia. So please join us for that. So let's talk about the Great North American Eclipse, because that's what it is called. It's actually called the Great North American Eclipse on April 8th. And it's at 25 degrees, which is very significant, in Pisces in Vedic astrology, in the nakshatra called Revati. And that is the very last nakshatra. There are 27 nakshatras, and it's the very last one in Vedic astrology in Pisces. And Pisces is the last sign in Vedic astrology. And then this is the last one of that. So what makes that so important is it really means deep change. And it means transformation. And it has to do with endings. And you have to remember, with an ending becomes a new beginning. So you have to think like that. I'm going to let go of something. I may not know what. You may not know at this moment. But most people have a general idea of what's not working for them. And all of a sudden, your job might be, I'm not working here anymore. Or all of a sudden, the relationship you're in changes. Or those kind of things. I mean, these are deep times here with these eclipses. So let me just see if there's any. Okay, Patricia Aldana, is the spiritual realm open massively during eclipses? Yes, Patricia, thank you for asking that important question. The veil's very thin, so I am hoping that people are meditating, or all of a sudden get a sense of their loved ones, or they can feel them around or they'll get a message or a dream or something. That veil is extremely thin for the next couple of weeks. So thank you for that. Oh, Patty, you'll love this class. It's going to be a great class. A lot of weirdness today, Patty Campbell says. Yes, it is very true. It is a lot of strangeness. That is. So Laura Crum says, if March 25th eclipse is for letting go of emotions that weigh us down, and the April 8th is for renewed energy, then I may be a whole lot skinnier and faster. Well, it's a possibility because, again, the first eclipse, the lunar eclipses in Virgo, has to do with health and healing and all kinds of things. So Ricky Tenoff, she says, Kellee, should I hire a new caregiver during this eclipse? If you can, Ricky, I would wait just a bit. Just wait for a couple of days if you're going to hire somebody in between these eclipses. And I'll tell you why. It's because this Mercury, which is headed Gandanta, I mean, it is Gandanta, which means drowning, and it means the knot. It's a very powerful degree at 29 degrees going into from Pisces into Aries. It's very significant, and it means a lot of change, a lot of transformation can happen. And also on April 1st, Mercury does go retrograde. So I don't know if anybody, if you hire somebody now, my thought would be that they might not work or there might be another change. So if you can wait, I think I would wait. Hi, Sharon from New Zealand. Hi, Sharon Connolly. Thanks for joining us from New Zealand. I appreciate that. Lori Sherbrooke, yes, we did get snow and blizzard here, and then now it's 68 degrees. Is that the darndest thing, right? Vicki Nason, you're feeling this powerful eclipse? I can imagine. I know. I love that. So, okay, so let me tell you a little bit more about this. So this energy, as I'm talking about for this eclipse coming up, is very unstable energy. And with Mercury, it's going to be even more unstable because it changes. It went into Aries today, from Pisces into Aries today, Mercury. On April 1st, it goes retrograde in Aries until April 8th, the day of that eclipse. And then on that day, Mercury goes back again into Pisces. This doesn't even make sense. I know I don't expect everybody to understand that. It's just this wobble that goes like this. And Mercury rules the way we think. You know, it helps us with thinking. So I think, and, you know, traveling is going to be, I would think, just a mess in the next couple of weeks. Just a mess. And I am going to be traveling. So that's probably not a good thing. But also on this eclipse on April 8th, this is unbelievable, but it's also a Vedic New Year. So in Vedic tradition, they have a new year, and it's always on a different date, depending on different things. And every 18 and a half years, it coincides with the solar eclipse. And what does that mean? It means that it's two dramatic events, actually, that will occur. So it's a dramatic event when we have the Vedic new moon. So it's a big deal because it's based on the first new moon. And so it's a big deal. And we've got that, the Vedic New Year and the solar eclipse. It's going to bring up a lot of turmoil, especially through North America, and that could bring big changes in government. It could bring all kinds of issues, problems. I mean, a lot of problems, I would think that it's going to. So is it okay to have surgery on April 9th? You know, Lisa, if you guys already have it, yes. I mean, it's not the eclipse. If you can avoid surgery on the eclipse. In fact, I know I've been reading about a lot of doctors that are not going to do surgeries on the eclipse on the 8th. And I know a lot of schools, especially in Texas, that are going to be closed on that day. So that is kind of an odd thing, but that will happen. Okay, Julie Burge, your birthday is April 8th. So if your birthday is on or around, well, let's start with March 25th. The wonderful medium, Lynn Probert, happy birthday, Lynn, if you're watching, from England, wonderful medium, great teacher, wonderful teacher. It's her birthday today. I'm like, okay, Lynn, here we go. So if your birthday is today or yesterday or the next couple of days or right around here, it's a big deal. Your life will definitely change. If your birthday is April 8th, whew, yeah, lots of change for sure. Okay, Brenda Louise, I've had quite a few technological issues. Okay, let's talk about that. My phone, it says your phone hasn't been working right for days, computer issues. Yes, and you've never had that before. That is absolutely Mercury in retrograde doing this wobble of this Gandanta, and it's not in Mercury, it's not in retrograde yet, but the energy is, it means this. Retrograde means the planet slows down so much, and Mercury's the fastest moving planet. So when it slows down like that, they call it retrograde. But it actually just means that the planet is so slow, so slowing down. Barb Kennedy says, you're not kidding about the dreams. They're not scary, but they're intense. I bet they are. I bet they are intense because this is a very intense time for dreams. But you know what I think about those dreams? If you're having those kind of dreams, it's to wake you up on whatever it is that you need to look at. You know, like let's say you hadn't looked at the fact that you've had all this trauma when you were young. All of a sudden you start seeing things or you start getting ideas of things because trauma is actually sometimes prevent us from doing our work. So healing is really what's needed. So if you're having these bizarre dreams, pay attention. In fact, absolutely write it down. Okay, Christine Salisbury, we're welcoming a newborn baby today. Can you tell me about a person born today? Okay, if you were born on the eclipse, you have extreme reason to be on this planet. You're going to do something remarkable, Christine. If that baby is born today, that is it's remarkable. It's also a Jack of Clubs day, and Jack of Clubs is all about in the mind, thinking fast. So if you're born on an eclipse, my mother was born on an eclipse. It's the damnedest thing. And she died on an eclipse. So she had a very purposeful life. Okay, Tippy Landis, all of a sudden today you felt happy about it. So that would mean in your case, Tippy, I love that, appreciate that you said that. Also, you can, some people will feel that way, Tippy, absolutely. And Jody, you too, you're actually feeling better. So you feel more peaceful. So that would mean probably some of the planets are really supporting you. And also there is something about this, about eclipses that kind of, you know, they're fascinating. I mean, to me, it's a fascinating thing. Okay. Gina Main Price says, I had the busiest day at work because of this eclipse. Everyone was in a rush. It's so true. I'd love a reading on a promotion. Well, you know, if your birthday is 6/28, you probably will be getting a promotion this year. And in fact, it's funny, but there will be some extraordinary things that will happen to this. Okay. So just remember, oh, Kathy, you had major balance issues. That can happen too. Debbie Wallace, my meeting practice were on fire today. That's fantastic. Hi, Slobodanka from Melbourne. So Kelly, yes, Kelly Moncourt says, if you were born during Mercury retrograde, is it easier for us during that time? Yes, I was also, Kelly, born with Mercury in retrograde, and so was James. Yes, somehow it is, Kelly, and I'll tell you why. It's like, I don't think it doesn't. Okay, so things don't go the way we thought they would go. Okay, it's almost a different kind of energy. We're almost used to things taking time. So, which is kind of funny if you think about it. I think that's pretty funny. Carolyn Hartman, your son's birthday is April 3rd. So a very creative day, by the way. Also, if you were born again within these 2 weeks, I think that it, the lives will change a great deal. Renee Hounsel, how does the eclipse also bring changes to Earth as well, such as weather or natural disasters? I think, Renee, great question. We're going to see a lot of natural disasters in this week and the following week. And I'm going to tell you why. That not only the eclipse, which again, think of it as, like water kind of sloshing around like this, Earth, like this, but also because of that Gandanta degree, which could bring tornadoes, it could bring huge water issues, hurricanes, it could bring anything to do with water, because Gandanta actually means drowning. So it could have all kinds of issues. We might see, cruise ships with all kinds of water issues right now or problems. And I think also we're going to see a lot of, I mean, we're already seeing airplane situations, you know, that have to be fixed. So I think Earth is good. We're going to see a lot of Earth changes. Great question. A ton of them this year. Could bring earthquakes too. Carla McDonough, what would be a time it is safe to make a decision after April 8th? If you have important decisions to make them again after the 8th. Maybe, you know, well, the 9th and the 10th is actually a really intense day because that's Mars and Saturn comes together on that day as in a conjunction, and that's a really tough day. I would wait, Carla. I'd be thinking about your decisions about your health right now, but I would wait probably till around the 15th if you could, let the energy kind of go. And if you have to make a decision, just be as clear as you can with everything, okay? But if it's a health decision and you need to make it, you know, make it. If you could, though, wait until after the 8th. Would probably be better. Yeah, I think so. Let's see. Don Rosen, Kellee, do all of your plans change in a Vedic chart? Yes, they do. Most of them, yeah. Yeah, they do. They change. Don, great question. So if you, yeah, the dates are different. We follow a different calendar than the Western calendar. It's different. Everything goes back because it's actually where the planets actually are. So, there you go. So I hope that helps. Here we go. Let's see. What else do I have? Okay. Jacqueline Gray. Hi, Jacqueline. How do you use the eclipse energy with Mercury retrograde positively, effectively? Thanks. I just got here, so please forgive me if I have not really answered that. And thank you for that question. So how do you use the energy of this eclipse, basically with Mercury retrograde? How do we use it positively? It's a great time to go back, meditate, maybe make a list of the things that you would like to do in your life. Things that maybe look at, you know, what is it? Because Mercury retrograde always brings us back to look at something. So what is it that you haven't done? What is it that was on your to-do list, but you never got there? You know, like that. I mean, it's absolutely an energy that can be channeled if with no expectations of, oh, I'm going to make it here at this date, I'm going to make it there. It's not really like that type of energy. It's more about looking back. I'd say look at your history. What is it that you wanted to do in life? What is it? Start making some great notes. Great time to journal. Excellent time to journal. Okay, excellent time for journaling. So I hope this helps. Adeline Mersch. Hi, Adeline. I love that name. Does Mercury retrograde affect certain signs more than others? Yeah, it certainly does. It affects Virgo because it's ruled by Mercury, and it really affects Gemini because it's also ruled by Mercury. So those two signs would be heavily affected because, again, I'm a Virgo, and Geminis we're all about talking, going. And it really does affect those signs, I think, probably the most. And it will affect everybody because depending on what everybody's chart is, it would affect everybody. But thank you for that question. It's a very good question. Brian Harnish. Hi, Brian. Just a question. Do you mean to not put out crystals and stones new, or should they be put away until after the eclipse? Don't put them outside is what I meant by that, Brian. Great question. Don't put them outside. So what happens is, for a full moon, normally we put our crystals out for a full moon. If it's good energy full moon, we put them out, and the crystals kind of revive, and it's just a really good practice to do, but not during a lunar eclipse. That is just not good energy to put them out. But if you just brought them home, put them around your house, but just I wouldn't be putting them out. I hope that answers that question. Okay, Glenda Moore, how long will the eclipse last while watching it, Kellee? So, from what I understand, the April 8th eclipse, I think if it's in a totality, I think it's 4 or 5 minutes in totality. That means that, and I don't remember the exact time. I'll have all of that, but I just don't have it right now. I'll have it on my site, and I'll have it on my social media. But the eclipse pattern, the trajectory, I should say, is several hours, I think. But then when it gets to the totality, and I don't know if you guys remember from 2017, you probably don't remember from 1918, I'd have to believe. But in 2017, that was a total one that did go through the United States. And I was here on my farm, which I lived in Los Angeles at the time, but I was visiting here, and we, had an eclipse party, which a lot of people do. And boy, did we get whacked. But we were in 93% totality here in Wisconsin. So we got to see the sun get really, really dark, and it started to get really, really dark. But in certain places, it will be complete totality. I mean, it will be dark for 4 or 5 minutes. And that's why in Texas, in Dallas, and in Fort Worth, a lot of the schools will be closed because of that. Yes, Vicki, yes, we will be doing a show that night. Yeah, April 8th, James will be back, and we'll be doing a show on that night. Yes. Okay, Sue Wells, Ohio Governor Mike DeWine called the National Guard for April 8th. Thank you, Sue, for letting me know that. Yes, I believe that. I mean, that's a big deal because it can be shenanigan energy, It can just be shenanigan energy. Eddie Connor, hi, Eddie. Wonderful psychic Eddie Connor. Hi, honey. So excited. You're going to be on April 8th. It's your birthday, April 8th. If it's your birthday, Eddie, woo, that is going to be a big, big time. That is going to be something else. Okay, Mary Snyder, they're closing schools in Buffalo, New York as well. They're saying stay home if you can. Exactly, because people will be stopping in the middle of the streets, trying to get out, look at the sky. I mean, if you can, this is what they say in Vedic tradition. Don't leave the house. Eat very minimally. Don't drink alcohol. I mean, they say a lot of this stuff. I mean, it's really something. Lisa Watson, thanks for watching us every week. Yeah, this is something. Ike, hi Ike from Maui. Hi there. Appreciate you. Thanks for listening tonight. Yeah, these are kind of crazy energies, right? Okay, Gail McDade, I had a dream about taking my blood pressure and only the top number showed up. That's kind of fascinating, Gail. Actually, if I were you, maybe it's an alert to get your, go have your blood pressure taken. That's a funny one. Okay, Vicki Neeson. Hi, Vicki. Incredible show tonight, Kel. Oh, thank you so much. You are on your game tonight. Thank you for all the informative info. James, you are missed. Feel better very soon. Thank you, Vicki. I so appreciate that. And if you're just tuning in or if you forgot, James will be back next week. He just doesn't feel well tonight. I think that this energy just knocked him out, right? I think that. So let's see. Okay. Patty Morris, my husband has fallen the last couple of days. I'm so sorry. Again, this balance thing is a real thing. Does this mean more falls coming? I don't know, Patty, but I would make sure he's taken care of, I think that would probably be a good idea. I think so. So that's what I would be doing. Yes, Ann Rogers, we're going to have solar flares too. We are going to have solar yeah, we are having solar flares too. And I don't know enough to speak about that, but I have a feeling it's probably makes things more intense. Carolyn Granquist, why are people predicting the world is going to end on April 8th? I don't know, Caroline. I'm going to tell you what, it's not going to end. I think that's like this old kind of, I don't know, school system, it's not going to end on April 8th. Again, that's like a shenanigan thing. It just is. Okay, Luna Rose, I'm a Virgo. I felt very motivated to clean and organize. Lots of momentum for spring cleaning, which was needed. Okay, Luna, I'm glad you mentioned that. Now, here's the thing. Because Mercury, again, fastest moving planet, is going from, today it went from Pisces to Aries. Aries is motivation. Only thing is, if you had motivation today, you'll probably have it tomorrow in the next couple of days. And then we're really going to start to feel the effects of this Mercury retrograde. But get your spring cleaning in. That would be a great thing. I think that would be a very good thing here. So let's see. Okay, what else do I have here? Regina, what about a finance decision? I would wait, honey, and I'll tell you why I would. If you can, because nobody's going to be thinking real clearly right now. So that's what I would, I think that I would wait if you can. That's what I would do. So let's see. Yeah, Okay, and I don't know enough about solar flares to actually talk about that. So, Charlene, oh, Kellee, you are giving off to us your strong energy tonight. Thank you. I appreciate that very much. If you have the strength of you and James together tonight, thank you. I appreciate that. Gail McDade, I'm looking at past lives and the purpose of my soul. That's a great thing to do right now, frankly. And get a new journal. I think that's fantastic. I think that's a great thing. I think that is the greatest thing you can do right now. Sandra Oliver, how do you save yourself from a spiritual awakening breakdown? Now, that's a great question. And the emotional roller coaster, I saw my heavenly family and earthly family together in my dream last night. I'm drained and can't control my tears. Well, Sandra, let your tears just flow. Don't try to stop it. Just let the tears come. I bet there's a lot of healing here. And, spiritual awakenings, I talk a lot about spiritual awakenings, and this is a time we're going to have them. So the thing we do know when you have a spiritual awakening is this: you're never alone. It's not possible to be alone. And you start thinking differently. And always with a spiritual awakening comes a great wave of emotions, because we've been either holding in a bunch of stuff, or we just took on a lot of stuff. And eclipses do bring make a major road for spiritual awakening, and that's actually such a good thing here. Katie Figueroa, I love your shows. Thank you for your information. Oh, thanks, Katie. I think that is perfect. Jeannie, what if the crystal is out all the time? I have a huge dragon crystal who's always out. Leave the dragon crystal out. Jeannie, that is so amazing. A huge dragon crystal. That is so funny to me, because K2 and Rahu and K2, the north and south nodes, are actually dragon energy. The head of the dragon and the tail of the dragon. So leave that guy out. Why not? And again, I just want to remind everybody, if you would always want to know about star seeds, please join Janelle Campbell and I. You can sign up. I think there's a link here. Renee, did you put the link up for everybody that they can sign up to join us at a live event on Zoom? It'll be all around the world. May 10th in the United States, May 11th in Australia, because it's a time difference, with Janelle Campbell. She's one of my dearest friends and an incredible psychic medium. And it turns out that we both love to talk about star seeds, and we're going to do an amazing show on that. So join us. And I think that's going to be so fun, and I love that. So please join us for that. Barbara says schools in Syracuse, New York, are closed as well, right? Patricia says, does this eclipse cause major blackouts? It could. In Canada, it absolutely could. I don't know. I don't think it'll be a major. I don't know. You'd have to look at that. So Carrie says, what's the difference between a star seed and a star child? A star seed and a star child would be the same thing. We call them star seeds. Sometimes they're called star child. But star seeds were souls that are not from around here. If you catch my drift. I like to say it that way. And I don't mean from Wisconsin. I just mean not from around here. We're always interested about the stars and the other side, and we think differently. We come to Earth with a different energy, and the energy is about light, and bringing in a lot of light and a lot of love and a lot of wisdom, and we think differently. A lot of people on the spectrum are star seeds. They're not from around here, and most empaths not from around here. Most anybody that's been diagnosed ADD or ADHD not from around here. And that's the way I like to call it, not from around here. James and I, not from around here, but we do have a lot of fun together. But that's that. I hope, and we'll be explaining more and more about this. But it's a great class to take. So I think you guys would love that. So anyway, Ricky says, thank you for being born and sharing so much knowledge. Oh, thank you, Ricky. That is so sweet of you. Thank you, honey. I really appreciate that. Wow, I really do. Let's see, what else? Andrea says, Kellee, does this feeling of being done with this life just mean it's time for a new chapter? Yes, 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 that's exactly what it means. If you're done, you're ready for a new chapter. Yeah, and again, eclipses put us in that direction. So everybody, I won't be in my normal show on Thursday. I'm going to be out of town, so I won't be there for that. But join James and I on Monday when we have I think we're going to have a guest on Monday. So join us on Monday, and you can join James again on Monday. I'm sure he'll be doing his soul afternoon show too. So join us next week, and have a great week, everybody. And thanks so much for joining me tonight. I really appreciate it. Thanks, everybody.
You've been listening to Both Sides Now and Beyond, featuring spiritual medium and master teacher James Van Praagh and spiritual medium and psychotherapist Kellee White.
That was great. Maybe we changed some lives.
And maybe opened up some minds.
Which way do I turn?
Right. I mean left.